I Got the Hell Out does contain explicit content that might not be suitable for some listeners, such as children, those that easily get offended, and we do recommend that listeners at work put your earbuds in if you have coworkers around.
And if you like the show, please spread the word by telling as many people as you can. Would also appreciate if you would subscribe, rate, hopefully with 5 stars, and review the podcast on iTunes. You can find us there as well as on Stitcher and Overcast. You can follow us on Twitter at Was In A Cult, on Facebook at I Got The Hell Out, and on Instagram at I Got The Hell Out with an underscore after each word. You can contact us through our website at IGotTheHellOut.com.
Hi guys, it's Deb.
And this is Laura.
And this is another episode of I Got the Hell Out. And it's another early morning to you.
Yes, it is. I guess from now on, it's early Sunday mornings that we record.
Yay.
So there's not going to be too much alcoholic Kool-Aid.
Well, we could still give the recipe.
Oh, we're still going to give the recipe. It's just that it's just a bit too early for us.
And see, I was going to give Bailey's and coffee this morning, but you informed me that...
That actually sounds really good.
You informed me that we actually had a Kool-Aid recipe.
We do have a Kool-Aid recipe from my friend Sherry.
Yeah, Sherry D, because she just recently got married. It is entitled The Poison Candied Apple.
Just in time for Halloween.
Yes. And this one's a little pricey because I did figure out a substitute. Okay,
but it's specific.
But then I'll give something else we can use.
Okay.
You take apple Crown Royal. It's a little expensive,
which is really good. I have to say it because I've seen that at stores before, and I'm like, it's either really good or it's really shitty.
It's Crown. It has to be good.
But the apple, I was like, the apple flavor, it was good. Anyway, go ahead.
We are serving this warm with a stick of cinnamon in it.
And what flavor Kool-Aid? You forgot.
Cherry.
So it's candied apple.
Yeah, exactly. It's a poisoned candied apple. And if you don't like cinnamon, you don't have to put the stick of cinnamon in it.
That sounds so good. And
I thought, you could get apple flavored vodka and some whiskey and mix them together.
Oh, you could.
Maybe.
How bad could it be?
You know what? It probably cost you more for the 2 bottles than it would for the
bottle
of Crown.
Would. Oh, buy the Crown, splurge.
Anyway, moving on, guys.
Thanks, Sherry.
Thank you so much. Somebody asked the significance of the bulldog on my ID.
Oh, that's right. And you weren't really sure.
No, only one ex-member got back to me, but she remembers... the significance of the bulldog was because they hold on and they don't let go. Kind of like you're holding on to the word of God and you're going to be like a bulldog. You're not going to let go.
I thought it was
anything.
Because the cult holds on to you and they don't let go.
Well, it could be a double, meaning. Who knows?
I'm thinking it's like little man and his rules hang on to you and... They're not letting you go.
Well, you think you're hanging on. I don't know. But don't you think...
Makes sense, though. Makes sense.
Don't you think a pit bull would have been better than a bulldog? Or do they have the same clenching quality? Let dog people get back to us.
Yep.
Yeah. And, Laura, we're doing the 10 Commandments.
We're doing part 2.
We are. Now, I didn't even think about this last week, but you're reading off your iPad where you just pulled the 10 Commandments out of wherever.
Right.
Well, you should have pulled up the culty 10 Commandments because they're worded differently.
Well, that's what we're doing because I'm reading what the ones are in the Bible.
Okay. Well, somebody reminded me that do not kill.
Oh, well, how do they word it?
Do not murder. Murder is different than killing because killing is justified. There are justified killings, but murder is not okay, whether it is a strike. Because they reminded me, even like, you're an innocent person. I can't just kill you because I want to.
But you can murder me?
No, do not murder.
Do not murder.
Which is, if I just killed you, it would be murder. But if I had reason to kill you, it's justified.
Okay, sort of like if you are not a cult member and you're saying something or doing something, they can kill you or murder you.
You were trying to break into my house.
Right.
Okay. I could kill you and it would not be murder. It would be justified because you're trying to break into my house.
Right.
Okay. But I just couldn't walk up to you on the street and slice your throat for no reason at all. That would be murder.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I guess for next week, your homework is to look up what the actual culty ones are. I don't know.
I'll do that. I guess, is it maybe in your scripture book or something? I guess it would be, maybe.
I don't know. Well, you said, do they
This
give you
is the
the
kids'
actual
book.
ones? Because I mean, does it say thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not murder? I can't remember last week.
Let me see here.
And while you're looking that up,
Yeah, what do you have to say?
somebody reminded me that the Nancy Grace interview with Little Man was in 2008. So that gives you guys a better starting point to try and figure out where the interview is.
Okay.
Because they have archives. So just go to the Nancy Grace website and look at the interviews that she did through 2008. Take your pick.
That'll work.
Yep.
And I just found in the kids' book, it says do not murder.
Okay. So, but see, you were reading "Do Not Kill" off your iPad,
Right,
That's
because-
what got me, and that's what the ex-member reminded me of, is because they're different than the worldly ones. Because of course Satan mixed them up.
That's right. Satan mixes up a lot of things.
Righteousness and
She
evil.
does,
She
right.
does.
She does, 'cause
Because
it's a
everything's a
she.
woman's fault.
That's right.
Don't forget that. Okay. Now, would you like to get into one of our commandments?
Before we do that, though, I want to say thank you very much. We had a new patron on Patreon.
Oh, thank you.
Tara, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
We'll send you your swag the beginning of next month. There you go.
There we go. So thank you, Tara.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see here. Moving on to, it is number 6. 10 Commandment number 6. Do not commit adultery.
That means, okay.
Okay. Well, what do you think it means, or what do you think?
Well,
I mean, sounds plain and simple to me.
it is kind of plain and simple, but not according to the cult.
Oh, really now?
Yeah.
It says, the laws of the cult show that marriage is a holy, eternal commitment. The husband, the head of the family, vows before the Creator to protect, love, and teach their wives the laws.
Yep.
And I have to giggle at love, because beating your wife, that's love, right?
Well, not everybody got beat. Some people got gifts and stuff.
What, like a bag of rice or something?
No. I actually got nice gifts until I turned into Satan's sister.
But when were they giving you gifts? I thought you weren't allowed birthday gifts or.
You can't 3 times.
During the feast you got
during
gifts.
the feast
Gotcha.
is when you got gifts. And
Okay. Then it says there is no obligation or commitment in the worldly marriages of today.
Oh wow, really?
Really? Yeah, I was like, I know quite a few people that are committed in their marriage.
No, they're probably secretly committing adultery.
Oh God.
I
According to the cult, they probably are.
probably, because there's lots of things you can do to commit adultery.
And it says here that when God commands us to not commit adultery, he is commanding us to not take what belongs to another man because
it's property.
Because this defiles both the man and the woman.
Because the woman is
property.
property.
So that should also go under like do not steal.
It goes under a lot of things.
The cult can probably put it under a lot of different things.
Yep.
Let's see here. To keep this law, one must understand that a woman is bound to her husband as long as he lives.
Yes.
If a married woman has a relationship with another man, the law, do not commit adultery, has been broken.
Yeah.
So what if the guy's married too? I guess it's still more the woman's fault.
Well, it's everybody involved's fault. I don't know.
Equally? No, but I'm asking you, equally? Or is
honest-
it more the women because the cult hates women?
I don't know. A couple episodes ago, I said that it's 2 different things. You know, if a woman, if a guy attacks a woman and she cries out in the city, okay, but nobody hears her, they're to take both of them outside of the city walls and stone them to death. Okay.
Oh, wow.
But see, she cried out, but apparently she didn't cry out loud enough for somebody to hear her. I mean, look these things up in the Bible. We live in the day of information. Google rape in the Bible, honestly. And I really hate to put it bluntly like that, guys, but it's covered a lot. It really is.
I don't think
Adultery.
adultery.
Yeah.
Okay, here's back to you saying about property.
Yes.
The man who commits adultery is guilty of stealing.
Yeah, because it's another man's property.
He has stolen another man's wife.
Yes.
I'm glad this is in the kids' book. This is perfect. The woman is judged as unfaithful, for she has broken her vow of marriage with her lawful husband.
Yes.
And marriage should be based on righteousness, holiness, truth, and love.
But the guy can go out and have as many wives as he wants.
And he can beat the wife. So that's not love. I don't know what is.
This is what they're teaching the kids.
This is what they're teaching the kids.
Actually, this is what they were teaching the kids back in 2002 or 3 when I left. So who knows what they're actually teaching them now, and how I don't even know if this book exists out there anymore. If it is, it's probably for toddlers that don't even know how to read.
Or if it is, I am quite sure that it's a hell
Oh
of
my
a lot
God,
different.
is that like righteousness tic-tac-toe?
No, this is the next commandment, tic-tac-toe.
Oh.
It is. We'll have to post a picture of it because it's hysterical.
Okay.
It's under the 7th commandment, do not steal.
Oh, wow.
Oh, this is a good one when
Okay.
it pertains to the cult. Yes, and they do have a do not steal tic-tac-toe game.
Okay, and I have an actual story from an ex-member that she wanted to know just, how bad the cult is on their bad stealing problem.
Ooh, and what does she have to say?
Well, you let us know about stealing first.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'll let
I
you know
have to. You read that while I'm looking up what I need to look up.
Okay, it says, to steal simply means to take something that belongs to someone else without permission. If we cheat someone, this is also stealing. Got bad news for the cult there.
I do have bad news for them. Keep reading.
Keep reading? Okay. If we steal, we bring curses upon ourselves. If we have fellowship with someone who steals, we will also suffer curses. The scriptures tell us that a man sows that what a man sows, he will also reap. Okay. Now, this is a really good one that reminds me of when you were talking about the creeper coming in the window.
Okay.
Okay. Stealing begins with trespassing, which if you're trespassing isn't creeping through someone's bedroom window, I don't know what is.
We discussed that once or twice.
Exactly. Trespassing is touching, taking, or going somewhere without permission.
Yes.
Bam. There we go. Right there in their commandments. It is always very important that we ask permission before doing something. If we always remember to ask permission, this will keep us from ever stealing.
Yep.
So I guess when Creeper Guy went through the window, going against what? Commandment number 7.
Oh, they go against commandment number 7 a lot. This ex-member, she didn't want identified, but she did want people to know that. She was talking to her daughter, and they were talking about the farm animals that they had, okay? Now, I'm going to read what she wrote, okay? She wrote to me, when we had our cow slaughtered for beef, we only got ground meat. No steaks, no roasts, nothing. And we got 50% of what was actually gleaned. The cult got the rest. Little man probably got all of the steaks. I remember my son going to his house and he showed my son what he was making for supper. Lo and behold, it was steak and potatoes with chocolate pudding. Now hold on, Laura.
Wait, even I know this.
You know what? The pudding might have been made with milk from the cows on the farm.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, chocolate pudding.
Okay, she goes on to say, I feel like such a stupid idiot now, but I recall being mad about the meat, and it was close to the time when I left. Here it was. We bought the cows to use for food later when we moved there, and of course we were taken advantage of again. So stupid. I don't know how my husband could take so much shit from them. He was very hard on me, and I wonder how he could take crap from other people and treat me like shit. I mean, they stole half her cow.
Oh my God.
And,
But I'm sure they had some kind of biblical God reason for doing it.
And you know what's probably even shittier? All that ground meat that they got was probably not even from their cow. It was probably from some sickly, nasty ass cow that they picked up, for a few dollars because nobody else wants it because it's
sickly. It has disease and God only knows what else. And they probably gave that to her and kept the quote good cow for little man.
Yeah,
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, that was in chocolate pudding.
Is a no-no.
How do you make pudding?
The only way I've ever made it is like
The
the
box
box
mix.
from Jell-O.
Right,
Like,
but see, they can't have that.
Right.
So I'm wondering, like, do you use? You can
I'm
get
quite-
vegetarian gelatin,
you know what?
but it's very
I'm quite
expensive.
sure little man just went and made damn pudding, and that was the end of it. Because you know how rules don't apply to him.
Yeah, rules don't apply to them. Go ahead.
Okay, we're moving on to number 8.
Okay.
Do not bear false witness against your neighbor.
Like when they asked me to come and lie.
Yeah, that could fall under there. Yeah.
Yeah. Or, okay.
It says, and right off, first of all, look, there's a picture of a judge with a gavel. How about that?
Little cartoony guy.
Little cartoony guy. It says, this law concerning the giving of false testimony is very simple. Do not lie when testifying so that you bring no harm to your neighbor. Bam, right there. And I love how there's a judge there. Yeah, so do not lie when you're testifying. Unless when they ask you to, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, we were specifically asked.
It says, teaching against God's laws is bearing false witness against one's neighbors as well. When people are taught falsely by those they should be able to trust, such as parents, teachers, and preachers, they are put in great danger. If they follow this false teacher, they endanger their lives and bring curses upon themselves.
Curses.
Yes, and then this is another good part. We are also commanded not to bear false testimony by failing to speak up when we have information about a crime.
Oh yeah,
How about that?
You were always supposed to, it's like George Orwell. It's like, if you see something, say something. If you see something, say something. And that's why I got turned in, because I told my friend I was making the talits wrong. And she turned me in because I was performing a crime. I was doing something I wasn't supposed to do. I was doing it the wrong way.
Well, something that you weren't supposed to do according to the cult. Not according to just the law or being a good person.
Well, I was breaking the law because I wasn't making the talits the way I was supposed to.
You were making them a way that made sense.
Yeah, exactly. And I can tell you, a man probably made up the way to do it.
Oh, I'm sure. And he probably doesn't even know how to sew. Okay, then it says, this law is kept by being truthful in everything we say about others. To not give false testimony against our neighbor, simply stated, means to not lie about our neighbor.
But they do.
Oh, really?
They do.
So I would love to ask little man, I would just love to ask him, okay, this is what it says here in the book that you are teaching the children. But you did, this thing. Please explain to me.
I don't know.
I would love to.
Maybe someday, if he ever goes to prison, we can arrange.
You can go visit him. Oh, God.
No, you have to be on the visiting list. If you're not on the list, you don't get in.
How can I get on the list? You could get on the list.
He wouldn't approve me.
How could we get on the list then?
You have to be approved. The person in jail has to request.
How awesome would that be to go visit him in jail?
He would have to request us to come and visit him.
How could we do that?
We'd have to write him a letter going, you can explain your side.
Oh,
I don't know.
Well, let's first get him in jail. Okay.
Like that, like we're going to do that.
I don't mean us as in let's. I'm like let's as in
let's wait
whomever.
for him to either die or go to jail.
I want him to go to jail because I would love to ask him these things.
I honestly think he's going to die beforehand.
Oh, I'm sure he will, because people like this don't go to jail.
No, they don't.
They don't get punished.
No.
What are you looking at there?
I was looking for some stuff when I thought you had something, and now I'm not sure what I was supposed to be looking for.
Okay. Moving on, number 9 and 10 are kind of combined because it's do not covet. Number 9 is another spouse, and number 10 is do not covet a neighbor's goods.
Yeah, you're not supposed to eyeball it and go, I want that.
Right.
You're not even allowed to eyeball it and go, I want that, and go, hey, where'd you get that? I want one.
You just
See, I don't get that.
It says to covet means to longingly look upon, dwell upon, or desire to possess something. Coveting by itself is not a sin. We are told to earnestly seek after the kingdom of God.
Yes.
So I guess we can covet the kingdom of God.
That's the only thing you're supposed to covet.
Okay. Coveting becomes a sin when what belongs to someone else is taken or coveted without permission. Longing for that which is not ours causes hatred to grow within us.
So why can't I admire something of yours and ask you where you got it and go get one?
I don't know.
Doesn't that make sense?
It would make sense. Absolutely. It says, if something can be acquired lawfully, there is nothing wrong with desiring to buy or trade for it.
Exactly.
Well, they're saying that they don't know what the hell they're saying, basically. Possessions which are earned through hard work or received as gifts are a blessing from God.
And you have to tithe on them.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Don't forget about it.
It is not wrong to admire what another has, but to lust after it, to covet with the desire to take what he has, is a sin. So I guess what you're saying is you could look at something and say, oh, that's really nice.
Where'd you get that?
But if you're like, that's really nice, I want it. Instead of, oh, where did you get it? Because I would like to get one as well.
I don't know. They're dumb rules.
So they're idiots.
Well, that's how pedophile father-in-law ended up with his 15-year-old bride.
Ooh, creepiness.
He was at Walmart, and the women are not allowed to wear their full coverings out in public because it draws attention. Lo and behold. Lo and behold.
Well, that makes you would think that they would want the women covered when they go out.
But then it draws attention. It draws attention to them.
Okay, yeah, I guess that it makes sense, but
I mean, it
what
drew
the hell?
attention enough when they were wearing rubber gloves going to the store because they didn't want to touch anything and
shit.
contaminate themselves. I mean, I spent 5 years in that state after I left the cult, and I would be walking through a grocery store somewhere, and I would see rubber gloves and, you know, the head covering because they a lot of people would wear it like a do-rag or like a handkerchief on your head, and yeah, and you're screaming, cult member, cult member.
Yeah, that is true.
But yeah, he saw a 15-year-old girl shopping with her mother, lusted after her, went and talked to...
Oh, that's a no-no.
Went and talked to Grand Poobah Man because he couldn't stop thinking about her. And yeah, she became his wife.
Ooh,
that is just...
Ooh.
Yeah. That could have been his great-granddaughter.
Oh, God, that's so gross.
I thought so, too. I really did.
But that's okay. That's okay.
But see,
his lusting was okay.
Well, no, he broke the law, so going and asking for this girl to marry her fixed it.
Made it better.
It fixed it for him. For him.
For him.
Do you see that? It fixed it for him.
Right.
Yes.
Anything pertaining to her doesn't matter.
It is what it is.
And then here there's some little games for the kids. Test your scripture knowledge so they can fill in the blanks. And it says, color the pictures.
Oh, those look like fun pictures to color.
That looks like a fun game. I'm sure kids love that.
Oh, yeah.
So some of this stuff I will be able to post, especially that tic-tac-toe, because that's something pretty special.
Okay, just make sure you cross out all the bad words.
No, I think we're good to go on that one. I think all the words are okay for us to use.
Want to see some creepy pictures I'm going to blot the faces out on?
Okay, go ahead, because I'm done with the 10 Commandments.
That's me and my ex, and I think his name was John from South Kakalaki.
Kakalaki?
Well, that's like Pennsylvania. Come on.
Oh my gosh. You look so happy.
Well, that was when we first got there. And remember we were talking about the demons?
Yes.
This woman's name was Billy.
What is that?
This is my friend Gary.
Is that a wig?
No, that's her hair.
Oh dear God.
I don't think she's there. I'm gonna have to get with Gary and find out, and I'll probably blot her face out. But
yeah.
She was Billy the demon seer, and she was the one that started. She would be, telling the elders, she'd be pointing out, excuse me, where the demons were and stuff. And apparently...
Wait, you mean like hiding behind a tree?
I guess so.
Like there's a demon there hiding behind a tree? Or like in people?
I'm not sure, but apparently he spent a lot of time with her, and he said that she was like an old town hippie type person and probably ate a lot of acid in her
I was
days.
just going to say that's probably what it was. And she probably was seeing demons.
And she probably was having flashbacks and seeing things.
She's tripping and she's like, there's a demon. There's a demon.
I remember seeing this woman walking around just because of her hair. I mean,
look, that hair looks like a bad wig from Walmart.
She needed a hair. I don't think her hair had been cut in the past 40
She
years.
needs some conditioner is what she needs.
I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, those are some interesting. Oh, and look, and this is when you can still have fun. We had volleyball.
Cult volleyball.
Oh
my gosh, that's awesome. Well, you can You can post the whole picture of that.
I can post the whole picture. And do you notice that it's only boys playing because girls couldn't play with boys?
Oh, for God's sake. Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna do that one. But here's another one when they had dancing.
Is that like
the
square dancing?
The Israeli dancing type thing.
Oh, that when you're in a circle holding hands. I can't think of what it's called.
I guess so.
You're like, whatever.
Anyway, I always ask people about when they left, okay? And their experiences there and stuff. And Gary says that I think Tabernacles 2000 was my last feast, maybe 99. I don't remember exactly. I had pretty much checked out at least a year before that. I just went to the feasts and kept in touch with my friends, but I didn't believe any of that shit there towards the end. The whole slavery thing and polygamy and Satan is a woman, that stuff never set well with me. And I was, in big block letters, never okay with them taking 20 or 30% of my money that I had worked hard for. But the last straw for me was the confessions. The first feast that we had to do the confessions was the last time I was there. I was really torn about it and I put it off that whole feast. I had even started bringing stuff with me by then. I finally went to my appointment to do my confessions. It was the day after the feast. My parents had already left, and I stayed that extra day and drove home by myself. I sat there for a minute. He left. He left to go do his confession. He said, I sat there for a minute collecting myself. Up to that moment, I hadn't decided what I was going to say. Whether I was actually going to give them the satisfaction of telling them my deepest and darkest secrets, or if I was going to tell them to fuck off. Ultimately, I decided on the latter. I looked my counselor right in the eye and told him I didn't have a goddamn thing to confess to him or anyone else. And if there's a hell, I'll see you there. He said he got up, walked out, and he never returned. Good for you!
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
To be a fly on the wall for that one.
The breaking point for different people is different things of what makes you actually leave.
Just like when you, like, this was the last piece of shit that I can actually take.
Yes. And, you know, a lot of people are mentally checked out. Hi, Mel. She moved there about a year and a half before I actually said I had enough. We probably would have been really, really, really good friends and ladies in mischief together. Yeah, I was mentally checked out. I wasn't making new friends. I was avoiding people. Do you know what I mean?
I can't. How could you not be? You know, just kind of being numb? Were you just numb to everything?
Well, it starts out, first off, that you stop actually trying to meet people or make new friends because ultimately either they stop coming and you're not allowed to see them or talk to them anymore, or at some point, you know, you're going to leave and they're never going to see you or talk to you again by their choice.
Right. Do you think maybe it's also like a little bit of depression setting in?
Oh, it's a lot of things.
Okay.
I showed you a picture of my friend and she just looks like she's The Walking Dead.
Oh, the one with like the life is just gone from her eyes.
Sucked out of her. Just sucked.
It's like she's a shell of a person.
And she actually lived on the compound. So,
oh, Lord.
I don't know how often her and her girls got off to go do anything. the sanctuary grounds there wasn't like a Waco or other places. There were families that lived there, but not a lot of them. They were basically the caretakers of the grounds, or they were part of the full time security.
Okay.
So there were reasons for people to live there, and it wasn't a hardship for them to live there. You know, they had their trailers, running water, electric. It was just on the grounds. Our resident nurse, when we had a nurse from the time I was there till the time I left. Love you, girl. Miss you. Her and her family lived on the grounds because people needed to know where to go if there was an emergency.
Okay.
Like, you're cooking dinner and your daughter's only 4 and she reaches up to the stove and she pulls the boiling hot water spaghetti down on her and she's got 3rd-degree burns on her. Now, what you're supposed to do, Laura, is snatch her up, put her in a blanket, put her in the car, drive to the sanctuary grounds, and take her to the nurse.
Okay.
At this point, your husband or your head or whoever is supposed to be contacting the elders so somebody can come and lay healing hands on the child. Yeah.
What a bunch of shit.
Medieval medicine, I'm assuming.
Oh my God.
I can say some of the stuff really did work.
You mean like natural
cures?
Oh no, I don't doubt that. I'm kind of rolling my eyes at the whole laying of the hands crap.
Well, you know, God is through the hands of the elders. And God's hand is mightiously through little man's hands.
So if little man came,
you're going to be healed.
Okay, now,
and that's why people
say...
No, wait a minute. That's why people have died waiting for him, because
God.
Something happens on the Sabbath and he's up there speaking.
And he can't stop.
Well, there's been twice that I remember, and I know it's more than this, but there's twice that I remember. You know, service is usually an hour and a half from, you know, beginning announcements to the beginning speaker to little man. Hour and a half, 2 hours, you're done. And twice I remember it being odd because you don't disturb him when he's speaking.
Okay.
Okay. One of the PAs or security came out and whispered something in his ear, and he nodded, and he kept talking. And those 2 times I distinctly remember that is because somebody died. Because they were waiting for him.
Oh my God.
To come and lay hands.
So him spewing his bullshit to the people was more important.
But he purposely, I think, went an hour over.
To let them die?
There were a few times that the sermon, you got there, and by the time it was 3 hours.
Oh my God.
And you just were begging for death to come. You're sitting in a metal folding chair.
Oh my God. You're just like, let there be an earthquake, let lightning strike, let something happen.
Swallow me up. Yes. And like I said, I distinctly remember this twice because I remember... and the 3rd time I remember it was, I told you Norm's baby. And Norm finally said,
right.
Screw it. He grabbed somebody else's car keys because I don't even think he knew where his car was.
Yeah.
And he saved his baby girl. But I still can't wrap my mind around the fact that at least twice that I know of, somebody died because he just kept blathering on. And
so he basically did not give a rat's ass.
I don't know. I never liked him. But do you remember I posted that picture of Little Man has books now.
Okay.
Okay. And an ex-member still has her books. Okay. And his books are nothing but his sermons.
So you mean they're just put down into print, and those are the books?
Apparently so. I'm going through here, and I'm here. Okay, look. I'm going to show this to you. Okay, it says, "This book of God, He who rules is God, the sealing of the saints." Okay.
I thought they didn't believe in saints.
I don't know. This is way after I left.
Okay.
Now, anything that she has highlighted is X-rated.
Oh.
Okay. Now, that book is, I just read you that. This one is called The Kingdom of Priests. And look how many chapters that are
Holy
X rated.
crap.
And I actually got back to her because I wasn't understanding what I was looking at. He doesn't write these books, they're just, each chapter is just his sermons written out.
Oh my God.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
That
7,
is
8,
a hell of a
9,
lot of X-rated sermons.
10. There's 10 right there on that page, that table of
That's
contents
the majority.
page alone.
That's the majority. That's
And
X-rated.
I don't even know if that is the only table of contents page, if there's one before it or one behind it. This is just what she sent me. I'm going to have to enlarge it and see if
Oh
there's,
my gosh.
anything that I can put out there. But that is a sickening amount of X-rated
That is.
shit to have to
That
listen
is.
to.
Oh my God. And with the little kids being there, oh man.
I asked her, did they encourage you to listen to the sermon while you were reading the book at the same time? Because if you're listening to it
Okay.
and you're reading it, it's like doubly
Right.
smacking into your brain. Do you know what I mean? She told me if you could afford it, Laura, if you could afford to get the sermon tape and the book.
That's pathetic.
Back when we moved there, back when we started getting sermon tapes, it was in South Carolina, and that was 93, I think. And they were $3 for a cassette tape.
Okay.
Now, that included, I guess, the postage to get it to us.
Right.
But then when we moved to the state and they're like passed out before the sermon, here's last week's tape, here's last week's tape, it was still $3.
What?
Do you remember cassette tapes were not that much?
You could buy like a 3-pack of them for $1 or something.
Can you imagine the thousands that they were buying at a time?
Oh, in bulk?
In
Yeah,
bulk.
absolutely.
And
that was a nice little profit.
No shit. And you get all your workers to work for you for free to make it.
Yep.
There was a complete crew that was nothing but the sound system.
Oh my God.
There was a crow's nest. I have a picture of that. Well, it's almost a half a picture. I was shooting out into the crowd, but you can see the crow's nest. Mm-hmm. It is in the middle of the sanctuary, but it's upwards. They had to drop a ladder so that you could get up in it, and then they would pull the ladder upwards. And that's where they had the video cameras and the recording equipment, and it was pretty damn cozy up there.
Oh my God.
So, and I'm still waiting for a couple of people to get back to me, but it was always rumored that they put subliminal messages in the tapes.
Wouldn't doubt it.
Well, why else would you be told to listen to it 24/7 and to buy a cassette tape player that it continuously plays? It never shuts off.
Oh my God, that is so creepy.
It reaches one side of the tape and then it
Clicks
goes
it
click
over.
and it instantly starts playing the other side of the tape. So, if not subliminal messages,
Oh,
why?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And they probably thought they were so sneaky doing that, trying to pull one over on everyone.
Who knows what they're doing out there? Like I said, they're flying by the seat of their pants right now. And other than that, we have some listener questions. I've found it a lot easier, Laura, when people ask me things on our Facebook page. I just keep it until we record. That way I can just, because it's just too hard to type some of this stuff out. You know what I mean? Do you?
I do. I was waiting for you to start reading.
Okay. Danny P, who we're supposed to have a meetup with, he gave us a tutorial on how to make pierogies.
Oh, okay, so homemade pierogies.
Yeah, anybody interested in that, I am approving his post. Becky G asks, I'm only on episode 26. Maybe this has already been covered. But what happens when the leader dies? Is there already a head elder that takes over? Becky, us ex-members have pondered this a long time. There were 4 main elders that we really thought that there would be a power skirmish or they might try to lead together. We had no idea. One of those elders has since left. All of his family has left except for his one son, who's made elder.
Of course.
He's in his mid-20s, I think. So who knows if he'll ever leave or not. Hope he does. Always hope. But apparently, from what I've heard from people that left way later than me, little man has a special school for his little boy children, and they're supposed to take over in a new hierarchy type thing. Who knows?
So they're just coming up with more new bullshit.
I'm assuming so. And here's an interesting one from Aaron B, and it's a guy's name, Aaron.
Okay.
He asks, I'm not sure if this question was asked, and I'm sure the answer is fairly predictable. But what was the cult's stance on voting? Did the cult participate in outside politics, or was it always insular?
Insular.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, that is a good question.
I remember at one point, and see, this is going to give a lot away, but
Okay.
the state we were in was trying to secede from the United States.
Okay.
Late 90s, guys, look it up.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, we were encouraged a few times to go out and vote for certain people.
Did they ever have like voter registration booths set up?
No.
Okay.
No. But I do recall that in a few local elections, if we were registered to vote, we were encouraged. They would give us reasons why to go vote for this person.
Okay.
You know, use your noggins, guys. I'm sure there's a reason why they wanted us to vote for this person.
Right.
But they gave us righteous reasons to vote for this person, not probably the underhanded reasons to vote for this person.
Oh, yeah. And anything that would benefit the cult.
Exactly. Oh, Samantha T, I sent your Kool-Aid to England.
Yay.
Well, and it was only like $3.50 to send 4 packs of Kool-Aid. And
cool.
I showed it to my son before I went to the post office, and he looked at me and he goes, "Mailing anthrax, mother?" Because it's powder and all of
I was
this.
just, you know what? I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, what if someone at the post office shakes that and they're like, what the hell is this in here?
Well, I'm real close to the people at the post office down there, and I handed it to her, and I says, "It's under an ounce, right? It's under an ounce." And she's like, "Well, it's a little over, but it's, only $3.50 to send it instead of $1.55."
Right.
And I'm like, "That's totally fine." And she shook it at me, and she goes,
What the hell?
"Deb, I really hate to ask, but what's in here?" And I looked.
Thank God you know her.
Well, yeah. Anyway, I went Kool-Aid, and she just rolled her eyes, and she's like, "Why are you sending Kool-Aid to England?" And I'm like, "Because they don't have it there. And by the way, they don't have Swedish fish in Sweden either, but those are too damn heavy and expensive to send." And she rolled her eyes at me again, and I actually had to fill out a customs form on it.
For Kool-Aid, that's so great.
Well, because she says, "Deb, you have to fill out a customs form." And I'm like, "Why?" And she goes, "Deb, if this broke open in one of our production facilities, you would put probably 50,000 people.
You would be all over the news.
Out of a job for a week as they sterilized, sanitized, and you'd find, men in black knocking at your door."
Right.
And she would probably get in trouble too for not having that on there.
But the Kool-Aid is on its way.
The Kool-Aid's on its way. And Amber K has been real vocal lately. She's our wheelchair lady, I think in Australia. Anyway, she gave us the answer of why she's in a full body cast. And I'm not going to read your whole statement, sweetheart. Me and Laura read it, and my God, my heart goes out to you.
My heart goes out to you, sending you hugs.
Hugs and love and all
Absolutely.
that good stuff. But hey, guys, be thankful for what you got every day, because it can be taken away from you in a heartbeat.
Oh, in a blink of an eye.
Blink of an eye.
Yep.
Poor woman is going to be in a body cast for the rest of her life. She tries to make the best of it. She listens to podcasts. Ours is her favorite. Yay! Books on tape. She does wheelchair race once in a while and stuff. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have on.
You have an email.
Oh, I do have an email, don't I?
Yeah, right here.
Oh, and I got something after the email. Remind me.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, that look in your eye. Oh, no.
We don't often get emails. Um, every so often we do, and a lot of times it's gibberish, and I look at it and go, "What the hell is this, Laura?" And
Right.
she's like, "I don't know. I wanted you to see it. Can you make anything out of it?" Nope.
Like maybe you can decipher the gibberish. I don't know.
We read one email before this, and we've been doing this for what, 9 months,
Something like that.
Anyway, this comes from I'm assuming a woman named Rose, unless it's a guy that likes to go by the name Rose. Who knows?
Whatever makes you happy.
All right. Well, actually, that's probably her real name right there, but I'm not going to say it.
Nope.
Nope. She says, first thing, new listener here, love the podcast. We love that you love us.
Thank you.
Thank you. She says, sorry if you got a similar email 5 times already, but I just started listening now. I'm on episode 5 and just had to say these 2 things. Okay? If you still want someone to translate the Israeli soldiers, I'm at your service.
Whoa.
Okay, now here again on my to-do list, Laura. I have to go home and get the tape that I'm making the motion like these people can see it.
Right.
It's, 3 inches wide.
It's like one of those little camcorder tapes.
Yes.
Right.
Do they have services that will turn that into like a CD?
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
A PDF,
Yep.
whatever I need it to be?
Yeah.
Where do I find these services?
You can just Google it. There's tons everywhere.
But here in the Pittsburgh
Yeah,
area. I'm not
yeah.
mailing it anywhere. I got like
No.
9 hours of video on there.
No. There's definitely places. I'll find a place for you. But that's like the new thing now is taking like VHS tapes and putting it onto a disc.
But this is from a camcorder.
Yeah. They'll do 8mm film. They'll do everything.
Rose, but what if they're not Israeli soldiers? What if would there be other soldiers there guarding?
Hey, let's send it to her and
It
she
was
can
Solomon's
say yes or no.
They were digging out Solomon's temple. I
Well,
think it
she
was.
can either say yes it is, no it isn't.
Or I have no idea what these people are saying.
Exactly.
And you know what? I bet if she's in Israel, she knows other people.
Exactly.
She might even know the soldier people.
Oh.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
What if they're like watching the tape and they're having some beers and he's like, hey, there's me. What the hell am I doing there?
I was on duty that day. I remember terrorizing those terrorists. We looked so big and
I remember
bad.
those dipshits.
Oh my. Okay, number 2. No matter how much bullshit they came up with, the serpent in the Garden of Eden is definitely not female in the original text. I knew this. Did you know that,
I knew
Laura?
that, yeah.
Okay. So it was actually a man deceiving a woman.
Right.
Now, was that snake breaking God's law because he was making Eve do something unrighteous against what her husband would say? See, that's stealing. Mm-hmm. That's stealing. The snake was stealing.
Right.
So Eve actually wasn't guilty in my eyes. Sorry. Okay, it goes on to say, I know it's not important, but for some reason it bugged me. Rose, it bugs me when things aren't factual or, just little details don't fit, okay? She goes on to say, I guess because this is using my language to justify misogyny in a really stupid way. The serpent is male, and as far as I know, there aren't any female snakes in the Bible. Small, and yet it annoyed me to no end. Little things like that annoy me to no end, too, Laura. Yeah. She says, I had to get it off my chest. Thanks for the great show. Love, Rose. Yay!
Love you, Rose.
We love you, too. But if people actually read the Bible, and see, like, I've taken this back down to the original Greek and Hebrew because that's what it was written in.
Mm-hmm.
Laura, you can buy a Bible today that you can read it and God's a woman.
Oh, there's so many different translations out there.
I saw a hipster's Bible a few years back.
No.
And they were referring to, like, the bad people as the cool cats you didn't want to hang with. Okay.
Oh my God.
The cool cats you don't want to hang with. Because they seem like they're having fun and doing righteous things.
But they're not.
The
cool cats. Oh my God.
The cool cats you don't want to hang with. It's a whole sentence. They're
I
not
gotta
just the
find
cool
this.
cats.
I need to find this.
It's the hipster's Bible.
I bet Amazon has it.
There's hundreds of versions of the Bible, and I just find it hysterical. And if you take it back to the original shit, and I think it was like the 1600s, King James completely he had his people completely rewrite the Bible that you know today. Mm-hmm. He took books out that were in it up until the 1600s.
Well, I think the Catholic version is different. There's some extra books in the Catholic version than in the just quote Christian.
It's the biggest game of telephone since time began. I'm sorry. It even says on every Bible, edited and revised.
Right.
Well, it means to revise something means I've changed it.
Change something. Yeah.
I've changed it. And, back in the 1600s, he didn't want people to have multiple wives. So wives was taken out and was replaced with wife.
Singular.
Singular, along with a lot of other things. And even the portrait of Christ that everybody has, and, he's hanging on the cross.
Mm-hmm.
Do you people realize this story took place in the Middle East in 2,000 years ago? There weren't white people over there. Do you get this?
All of the pictures of Jesus showing him as a white guy.
It was some guy's son that he was,
No.
I forget, it starts with a B. I don't remember, but it was this royal guy's son, and he commissioned his artist people to paint his son as Jesus. And that is, do you know the letter J didn't exist until the 16th century?
I did not know that.
How could his name have been Jesus? See, we didn't call him Jesus in the cult.
Right.
So, but yeah, the letter J didn't exist. So, take your shit in your Bible back to the original language. I don't know what to tell you.
You're like, ah.
I don't know. As usual, I had a whole bunch of stuff. It's a shit show. We planned on having my mom on as a guest next week, but we sidelined that because it's going to be our Halloween episode.
We're going to do a Halloween episode, and then we're going to have your mom, unless something happens and something goes wrong and whatever.
Oh, God, it's our lives, Laura. Come on.
That's what I'm saying. We're planning to have your mom the week after.
And, make plans and watch what happens in life.
And speaking of making plans, we are tentatively planning on having a meetup.
Hi, Danny.
Hey, Danny, with the Working Stiffs podcast.
Yep.
And it's going to be a Friday night. That's what we've got it narrowed down to. As to what Friday night, we're still working that out.
To our Pittsburgh peeps, yes, we'll let you know.
Yes, so Pittsburgh
we'll figure it out
people,
and mention it so that
absolutely.
Because, we do tape, record, whatever you call it, right before the show goes out. So we're actually talking hours before
we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's taped and sent out the same
So
day.
everyone in the Pittsburgh area, we are going to have a meetup on a Friday in the next several months. So kind of pencil that in.
Yeah, we'll pencil it in. And guess what?
What? Oh, no.
We have a song dedication today.
To Kenny?
Yes.
Okay, Kenny's Corner. Let's go.
Miranda Lambert's Gunpowder and Lead. Listen to it, baby cakes. Listen to it. Me and my son went to Metallica this past Thursday. Had a fucking awesome time. But it took me back to when I joined the cult. And
The Metallica concert did.
Well, getting ready for it because
okay.
My favorite Metallica t-shirt that I got when I was 18 years old, Kenny made me burn it.
Well, it's Devil's music.
I really wanted my Ride the Lightning t-shirt. That's my favorite album. And fuck you, Ken. So my son, my wonderful son, bought me a concert t-shirt
Aww.
to replace the one his dad burned.
Aww.
So, yeah, Gunpowder and Lead, dude. My dedication to you.
Kenny's Corner.
Jennifer DB, we're going to trade promos with you. I'm going to give Laura the information, and she's going to get with you, because I don't do that stuff.
I'll take care of it.
Yeah, sure you will.
Hey, I just need it sent to me as an MP3, and we can put it right on in.
Yeah, MP3s, guys. Anything you send us has to... Well, not anything.
Well, no, if it's a promo, it needs to be an MP3. It
Yes.
can't be like a link to anything, because I don't know how to figure that out. So just stick your MP3 version right in the email, and we're good to go.
A lot of people have been sending me pictures. I've totally forgot that we had people dressed up as the Praise and Raisins. There's like 10 of them on stage, and it's totally hysterical.
Get some of those posted.
I'm going to get some of those posted. So, yeah, that's our shit show for today, pretty much.
Yep.
Give us your questions. Like I said, I've started saving them until we actually start recording.
Yep.
Much easier to answer.
Or if people have seen different funky versions of the Bible. Like, what was the one you just said?
The Hipster's
The Hipster's Bible.
Yeah.
If you have pictures of different versions, send them to Facebook.
I really was unaware that there was one that they had God as a woman. I mean, Satan must have done that, right?
Of course.
She took God's place in the Bible, so she wins.
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course. Of course. Oh my God. Like, trying to wrap my head around this is just,
I don't know what to tell you.
Little man.
You should have lived it.
No thanks.
You should have lived it.
No thanks.
So, anyway, guys, it's been Deb.
And Laura.
And it's been another episode of The Shit Show. So, we'll prepare and talk to you next week.
Talk to you later.
Bye guys.